Between November and December 2025, something the NBA had never seen before unfolded. Nikola Jokić went on a stretch that looked completely out of this world, almost like he stopped being human, and it all came against elite names like Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Anthony Edwards, and Rudy Gobert.
Nikola Jokić against Rudy Gobert. Puts it on the deck, into the lane, hook shot good for the big man.
Bodying in, spinning away, and dropping it home.
Jokić will fire from deep and swish.
Jokić backing down the smaller player. Jokić around the corner, and he drops it. Jokić gets it back, reverse, come underneath, put it up and in.
Scoring 30 a night, pulling down rebounds like a machine, running the entire offense, and doing it all at a level of efficiency that almost didn't feel real. And the wild part, he just kept stacking it. Back-to-back-to-back performances until it eventually led into one of the greatest Christmas Day showings the NBA has ever seen. But right when people started asking if this was actually the peak of Nikola Jokic's career, everything hit a wall with an injury against Miami, and that's where the bigger question starts to form. What did we miss out on if he had stayed healthy through that stretch? Because to really understand it, you've got to rewind a bit. After his first game of the 2025-26 season, a lot of people were already overreacting in the other direction. There were takes floating around saying he had peaked, that the decline was coming, that the dominance wasn't the same anymore. And that opening stat line didn't help the narrative. 21 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. For Jokić, that was called a stinker on Reddit. But that label only existed because the bar he set is just that ridiculous. And by the time November rolled around, that whole conversation flipped completely. Over 14 games that month, Jokić was putting up 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists a night, while shooting over 63% from the field. And numbers like that don't even sound real in modern basketball, because normally a 30-point scorer isn't also your primary playmaker, and your elite playmaker usually isn't controlling the glass at the same time, and centers especially aren't supposed to dominate all three categories at once. Then came November 12th against the Clippers, and that's where things fully broke open. Jokić drops 55 points and 12 rebounds in a single game, tying the highest scoring performance in the league that season. And in that moment, it was basically a reminder. If he decides scoring is the priority, most defenses just don't have a real answer for it.
Now Jokić straight away. Bang! Nikola on the far side. Jokić on the run. Here he comes. Floats it up and it's deflected by Jokić. Jokić gets it back, lay it up and in. Jokić backing down the smaller player. Jokić around the corner, and he drops another one.
By that point, the entire NBA world had already come to the same realization. They were wrong about thinking Nikola Jokić was declining.
This brother, Jokić, I mean, just a big tub of lard, just shoving people around, no six-pack, they ain't stealth built or anything like that. He's just big and strong, waddle. He don't even walk, he waddles and stuff. You just look at him, and you can't stop him.
5 days later against Chicago, Jokić came right back and dropped a 36-point, 18-rebound, 13-assist performance that felt like another night where he was fully in control from start to finish.
Jokić gets it back, reverse, come underneath, put it up and in. Jokić back it in. Jokić falling away, a sophomore shuffle. Watson gets it on the back.
And before the month even wrapped up, Houston ran straight into the same issue. Jokić put up 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists, just barely missing another triple-double while still controlling every single possession Denver needed him to run.
Stoppage because of a shot clock issue. They rectified it. Jokić. Oh, yeah. By Şengün, isolation. Head and shoulder fake. Jokić takes it in!
What makes this stretch even more insane is that November wasn't even the peak for Jokić. It was basically just the warm-up. Because usually when a player gets hot, there's some kind of regression coming. Things slow down a bit. But that didn't happen here. Through the first 13 games of December, Jokić was putting up almost identical numbers, over 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists per night. At that point, it stopped being just a strong month and started looking like something the modern NBA really hasn't seen before. Then, Christmas Day comes around, And we all know what that stage is usually reserved for: league icons, franchise faces, the biggest names in basketball history. From Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant to LeBron James, that spotlight has always been for the game's biggest moments and biggest stars. In 2025, that spotlight belonged to Nikola Jokić. And on that stage against Minnesota, he went completely off.
Now trying to cover the Joker who gets by him. And the second effort by Jokić for the circle. Great bounce pass to Hardaway. What a dime by the Joker. Denver Nuggets attacking this Minnesota defense. They'll shoot over the top of the Joker. Nikola Jokić against Rudy Gobert. Puts it on the deck, into the lane. Hook shot, good. Off the floor. Here's the Joker against Gobert. Cross to the left, hits the 16-foot.
In that game, Nikola Jokić put together one of the most outrageous stat lines the NBA has ever seen. He goes for 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists, and he does it while shooting over 71% from the field, plus knocking down 22 of his first 23 free throws. And the context matters here, because this wasn't just a big scoring night, it was complete control of the game on every level. No player in NBA history had ever hit a line like that with at least 55 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists. Not Michael Jordan, not Kobe Bryant, not LeBron James, not even Wilt Chamberlain. Nobody. That's what makes it stand out. It's not debatable. It's just never been done. The efficiency on top of the volume makes it even more unreal, almost impossible to question. And Coach Adelman wasn't holding back when he said it. He was standing on business about what he just witnessed.
He's the most efficient basketball player I've ever seen. And I know there's guys from way back in the past I didn't get to see play. But for me, in this modern generation of basketball, please show me who else is out there that plays like this at this efficient level offensively.
By the end of December, the entire basketball world wasn't just impressed anymore. It was genuinely starting to question how far Nikola Jokic's efficiency could actually go. This wasn't a situation where he was barely hanging around a triple-double average. He was living in it, comfortably, every single night. And that shifted everything. For years, people debated whether Jokić deserved a fourth MVP, but now the conversation started to evolve into something bigger. Are we actually watching one of the greatest individual seasons the league has ever seen? The problem is, we never got the full answer, because on December 29, 2025, against Miami, Jokić suffered a left knee hyperextension, and just like that, one of the most absurd stretches in NBA history came to a stop. At that point, he had already played 32 games and was sitting firmly in the driver's seat for MVP. And based on the level he was at, it wasn't hard to imagine where the season was headed. If he had just maintained that November and early December pace, we're talking about something like 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists over a full season. And that alone would have been historic, because no modern center has ever sustained that mix of scoring, rebounding, and playmaking across an entire year. But even that doesn't fully capture it. Despite missing time, Jokić still finished with 34 triple-doubles that season. And if he stayed healthy, there's a real argument he could have pushed close to Russell Westbrook's single-season record of 42, which in itself could have locked up the MVP race without much debate. At the time of the injury, he was widely viewed as the frontrunner, or at worst, co-MVP in the conversation. And a fourth MVP would have put him in extremely rare company in league history. Instead, it never fully materialized, and Denver felt the impact of it too. They stayed competitive without him, but the offense clearly shifted into something more ordinary, which only highlighted how central he was to everything they did. Even though, interestingly, they did look better without him than they had the season before. Still, the bigger picture didn't really change. What Jokić did in that stretch basically forced the league to confront something simple. The way he was playing didn't look human, and when you compare it to NBA history, the context gets even extreme. This isn't about diminishing anyone else, it's about understanding the level he reached. Because when someone averages 35 a night, you think Michael Jordan. When someone dominates through athletic control and all-around impact, you think LeBron James. When someone bends defenses from 30 feet out, you think Stephen Curry. But Jokić, in that run, looked like he was blending all of them into one player, scoring like an elite perimeter star, running offense like an all-time playmaker, rebounding like a traditional center, all while shooting over 63% from the field. Even legends like Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook, guys known for triple-doubles, never combined that level of volume with that level of efficiency. It got so absurd that even Steve Nash had to address it on his podcast.
Can I just take a moment to talk about Nikola Jokić making a joke out of the NBA every night?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I was literally just talking to my good friend Jared Dudley right before we jumped on here. I was just like, this guy is ridiculous. He was like, yeah, he's ridiculous.
You know, we've seen guys like James Harden put up bigger scoring nights, and Luka Doncic has had his own insane triple-double stretches. But what we haven't really seen is anyone, especially a center, putting together 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists night after night while barely wasting a single possession. And that's what made November and December 2025 feel completely different. Like Steve Nash kind of summed it up best. Jokić wasn't just dominating the NBA, he was almost turning it into something unfair. A joke in the way he controlled everything. But maybe the strangest part of that whole 2025 run isn't just that an injury cut it short, or even that Denver slipped in the playoffs afterward. We've seen versions of that story before. What we haven't seen is a 30-day stretch where the entire structure of basketball started to feel different. Less about positions, less about athleticism, less about effort, and more like everything was running through one player who didn't look human doing it. And the truth is, we'll never actually know how far that version of Jokić could have taken it. That's the part that lingers. Now, we want to hear from you. How different do you think the 2025-2026 season would have looked for Jokić and the Nuggets if that injury never happened? And if you're into more breakdowns like this, check out one of the videos on screen right now.